Hello amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who topic video for today. So for this Doctor Who video, we are looking into 16th place in my series of ranking every single season and series from 1963 down to 2023. This series started off back last January, well, back the 10th of January 2022. So it's been going on for over a year now, and we've only got into 16th place. So now, talking about what's in 16th place this season, it's an enjoyable one. It's brilliant. As I said, when we got into the 20, when we got into 20th place, this is the top 20 now. So all of these seasons, there's not going to be no negative side. So all the negative stuff has already gone and been and said, especially from 39th place down to 30th place, because they're the ones I just don't enjoy a lot. So 16th place is, of course, season 15. Now, this is a fake picture somebody's made. I've got this off Google because season 15 isn't out on Blu-ray yet, as we all know. Season 15 for me is an enjoyable one, even though it was actually broadcast from the 3rd of September 1977 down to the 11th of March 1978, starring Tom Baker in his 4th season as the incredible 4th incarnation of the Doctor. We have Louise Jameson only for her first full-on series. Unfortunately, she does depart the end because she does come in halfway through season 14, and then she stays for this whole season, and then she leaves at the end of the season. Also, we do get a brand new actual companion to the Doctor in this season as well, which I'm going to talk about when we get there. Season 15 contains over some incredible stories like Horror Fang Rock, The Invisible Enemy, Image of the Fendel, The Sunmakers, Underworld, and of course, The Invasion of Time. Now, these stories, people don't really consider this to be one of the best seasons of Doctor Who, especially for the classic era, because, you know, they had trouble with the budget and stuff. So, for me, I really do enjoy this season because it's one of the better ones from the great Graham Williams era. Even though I've already said season 16 down in the 30 columns, and then in the 20 columns, we've got season 17. I'm going to be honest here. Season 15 is definitely the best Graham Williams era for me. This is the best season out of his tenure era as showrunner and, well, show producer, really. Even though this season, it's a bit like season 16 and 17, but I really do enjoy this season a lot more than I do for the other two seasons for Tom. So let's dive into what I think of it. Horror Fang Rock. This is a perfect introduction to the Santoran enemy known as the Rutans, because at the end of this story, there's only the Doctor and Leela that are still alive. I mean, everybody else in this whole story, all the support cast and stuff, everybody dies, and it's just the TARDIS team that's basically alive at the end of this story. So this story does have a very, very high death count in it, which is something Doctor Who does a lot in Classic Who. Have stories where you got more of a death count than some other stories, and this one has definitely got a good lot of death count in this episode, in this 4-part story. I really do love Horror Fang Rock. It is epic, it's brilliant, and this is one of my favourite stories of the Tom Baker era in general. Louise Jameson is brilliant again as Leela. I mean, Leela is, of course, my second all-time favourite companion after Sophie Aldred as Ace. I have to admit, I really do enjoy Leela as a character in this season. I love her in season 14 as well, but she's brilliant in this season. And I really do like Horror Fang Rock because it's set in a lighthouse. It's very, very horrific, especially this feels like this could actually fit into season 14 category for the horror sort of stories that we had in seasons 12, 13 and 14. Mainly in seasons 13 and of course season 14 had a few horror stories there as well. And it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Image of the Fendel. Sorry, no, not Image of the Fendel. The Invisible Enemies next. Yeah, this one's actually pretty much enjoyable. I do like Swarm, who basically invades the Doctor's mind, saying contact has been made. This story introduces us to a new companion, aka K9. Wow, K9 Mark 1. Yes, this is K9 Mark 1. So we end up having in Doctor Who about K9 Mark 2 in season 16 and 17 and season 18. K9 Mark 3 gets given to Sarah Jane Smith, and he's in the Sarah Jane Adventures and... No, sorry, he's in K9 and Company. I do class that as part of the Sarah Jane Adventures, and he's in School Reunion, and then K9 Mark IV is basically the K9 that's left from the Sarah Jane Adventures, technically, after series 3. I have to admit, Image of the Fandal, it is a brilliant story. I love the way how we go into the Doctor's mind. The way that the way the Doctor has to make a clone of himself and Leela to go inside his own brain to try and defeat Swarm. Even though Swarm basically does survive and the Doctor does basically defeat him, I do enjoy this story. It's a brilliant, brilliant story, and I do highly recommend this one. Not many people do like this one because it has really bad CGI effects and stuff, but I absolutely love it. It's cracking. K9 Mark 1 is brilliant. I really do like K9. The professor that actually makes K9 in the year 5000, he's brilliant. I really do like him. He makes me chuckle in little scenes. I literally do laugh at some of the stuff he says, because you can tell he gets on with Tom Baker really, really well. The next story is definitely, of course, Image of the Fandal. So what can I say about this one? I absolutely love this one. Again, this one really fits in for the horrifying sort of stories with this whole giant alien kind of slug creature that ends up basically invading the Earth. And I loved how Tom Baker is in this story, because the way the TARDIS materializes in a field full of cows, and the way the Doctor asks them a question, it just really makes me laugh. This story, I have to admit, it is definitely one of the better stories for Leela, because she does a lot more in this story. Even in the last story, she does a lot more with the gun, and she's there like rolling around on the floor with K9 Mark 1 trying to help her defend her from Swarm's basically army, because when Swarm takes over their minds, they go like that, kind of like all whisker sort of face, and they go, contact has been made. Well, Image of the Fandal, it is another iconic, brilliant story. I did a review on this only a year ago, so I'm going to try and put the link to my review on Image of the Fandal at the bottom of this video for you. So if you want to, go and check out my review on Doctor Who Image of the Fandal. The Sunmakers, this one I do not enjoy. Some people enjoy it, some people don't enjoy it. I like the piece of music that's used for the soundtrack, even though I have actually got it on vinyl twice. I have to admit, I really do enjoy the music from the Sunmakers, but the whole plot of this, yeah, not brilliant at all. I mean, all it is, it's just about the taxmen. Doctor Who does a story with the taxmen on the planet Pluto. Yeah, not a really enjoyable one. Still got some, it does have some good stuff in there, like when you kind of come to the bold boss and he goes, "You have encountered my species." "Oh, yes. Yes, I have encountered your species." For Tom Baker, it's absolutely phenomenal. I do like Tom's lines in this one, because it does make me laugh. "Run, why are we running? The taxman." "The what?" "The taxman, Doctor." "Oh, yes, of course, the taxman." I really do enjoy the Sunmakers a little bit. It's not the best story for me at season 15. I do consider this one to be one of the weak stories, but I still very much enjoy it. Underworld. What can I say about Underworld? Well, if this ever comes out on Blu-ray, I want this story to be the one that has more special effects, especially for the alien creatures that's in the story, because some of it you can tell is absolutely done in blue screen, and of course it's not a brilliant story either. It's got, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's got a strong script, and the way they were filming it was, the budget was really, really gone, but you can't really tell. It's just another one that I'm literally just like, it's definitely the weak story of season 15. See, and then of course the final story of this season is of course the Invasion of Time. I keep talking about, I want to do more on the Image of the Fandal, because that is just a brilliant story, but I want to, this one is of course the Invasion of Time. Now this one, it is a brilliant story set on Gallifrey, with the Doctor claiming the right of presidency of the Council of the Time Lords, because he's been controlled by the Vardons, or make them think that they can actually control him, but it's basically a black plot for the Doctor to defeat the Vardons by basically destroying the boundary of Gallifrey, and then basically getting rid of the Vardons. And then just when he's there doing this big massive speech at the end of part 4, everybody stops and turns and goes, "What are you looking at?" And then of course the Santarans have gone invaded Gallifrey, and he goes, I love the Santarans in this one, because they go, "Who is Doctor?" And he goes, "I am the president of Gallifrey." "Are you Doctor?" And I just absolutely love the way how the Santarans basically go, "Who is Doctor?" And the way the Doctor basically creates a gun by using the Great Key and really wipes his memory and destroys the Santaran invasion fleet. Really great stuff, this story is. And of course, we have the departure of Leela. So Leela ends up in the story basically falling in love with a Time Lord known as Andred. And of course, K9 Mark 1 stays with them as well. So what can I say about Leela's departure? Well, it's very, very rushed. It's not really, the script doesn't really work around it like it does for other companion departures. Where in this one, it just feels a bit shoved on at the end because Louise Jameson decided to leave at the end of the season, so they kind of shoved it where you kind of have her holding hands with this Time Lord guard known as Aldred. I can't say his name now. But I do like her speech where she's there talking to the Doctor. And she goes, I'm staying. Staying? What? Here? Why? Ah, okay. And then, of course, when K9 goes, come on, K9. Negative. I remain. What? Here? What for? Double check the mistress. Oh. And then, of course, it goes, Doctor, I shall miss you. And he literally, does that little cheeky smile, slams the door, and he goes, I shall miss you too, savage. And then the TARDIS dematerializes from Gallifrey. I love the way the Time Lords go, I wonder where he will go to next. Yes, I wonder where. And then, of course, the Doctor's basically pushing this box of K9 Mark II. And, of course, you end with that little cheeky grin with him going like that. And then it literally just ends with the title sequence. So that's mainly the stories of season 15. If I was going to rate this whole season, it's definitely a 7.7 out of 10. Because it is a good season. Not the best season, because the best ones are mainly in the top 10, but these are the ones in the top 20. So I do like season 15 a lot more than season 16 and 17. I really do like Louise Jameson as Leela. I wish she would have stayed for season 16, because imagine having Leela and Romana 1 in the TARDIS basically arguing, and the Doctor's there just got to try and separate them. I really think that would have been interesting for season 16 if Leela was involved in that season as well. But it's not basically what's happened. So Leela leaves at the end of the Invasion of Time. So this season, what can I actually say about it? So we have the return of a villain at the end of the season, which is the Santarans. We get new introductions to villains, like we actually get the introduction to the Rutans, which were introduced back in the Time Warrior, where the Doctor's talking about with the Santaran War with the Rutans. So we do kind of see them for the first time. And then, of course, we have Swarm, the invisible enemy, aka Swarm. We end up having the Vandals. I can't remember the villain, the little midget man, the tax man, basically, in, of course, the Sunmakers. I can't remember the villains in Underworld. I do need to give that one a rewatch. It's been 3 years since I watched Underworld. It's not one I keep going back and rewatch. I rewatch other stories from this season. And then, of course, we go to the Invasion of Time. So, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think of Season 15? How do you rate it out of all of the seasons? Please do like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and just a quick mention to another sci-fi guy, because he's actually doing exactly the same series as I am. If you want to know his views from his 41st place down to his 29th place, I think he's done, go and check them out on his channel, Another Sci-Fi Guy, because he's another brilliant YouTuber, and I really do enjoy talking to him about Doctor Who. Plus, he commented on some of my stuff as well. So, Another Sci-Fi Guy, check out his whole YouTube channel for more Doctor Who, more Doctor Who stuff. And please do like, subscribe, and share, and join for more awesome Doctor Who content. Have a cracking day, you amazing viewers and subscribers.